Welcome to Make, Do, Tell Story, Session 10. I was like, wow, that's a lot when I was trying to remember what it was. So, I'm Jamie. I'm here with the Kansas City Public Library in the Youth Services Activity Room down at the Central Library, and I have a new story for you. This one comes from, I think I showed you this once before. I think we've done one out of here before. 33 Multicultural Tales to Tell, and it's brought to us by Pleasant DeSpain, who is an amazing gatherer and teller and presenter of stories. These are stories, tales to tell, that we can tell. And I spent a little time to demonstrate for you what a storyboard looks like in its most rudimentary forms, emphasis on rude. Señor Rattlesnake Goes Flying is essentially the name of this story. I just put Señor Rattlesnake up there to remind myself what it is, because I'm not that great an artist, as you can see. And then this one, I like this storyboard because it has words underneath. Even though this is supposed to be a picture thing, I'm a word girl, and so I really like the words. But I drew you a couple of buzzards and Señor Rattlesnake. This is from Mexico, this story. And then here is one of the buzzards with a stick, which is going to be very important in our story. As you can see, where are we? It's hard to do this backwards. As you can see in our third panel, the two buzzards, stick, rattlesnake, flying. We'll go on from there, but I'm giving away the story. So let's just get to telling the story. Señor Rattlesnake, a tale from Mexico. So Señor Rattlesnake was slithering across the floor of the desert when he came upon his two friends, the older buzzard and the younger buzzard. And they're sitting on their rock, just kind of basking in the sun. And Señor Rattlesnake has been thinking about this for a long time. He's very jealous of the fact that the two buzzards can be up in the air, flying. And he wants to fly. And they're like, oh, Señor Rattlesnake, you should not worry about flying. Look at you. You are king of the desert. You can slither all over this floor. You own it. Everyone is scared of you down here. Señor Rattlesnake is not appeased, not one bit. He wants to fly. Well, they are good friends, the buzzards and the rattlesnake. And so the younger one, finally, he's like, oh, I have an idea. You're too heavy, because he's like, just put me on your back and we can go flying. He's like, you're too heavy for just one of us. But if we get a stick and we carry it between us in our beaks, and you grab on with your long fangs, we can take you up in the air and you can feel what it's like to fly, because it's obviously important to you. So Señor Rattlesnake thinks this is a fantastic idea. So the younger one goes and he finds a nice yucca branch, very lightweight, very sturdy. And the two of them put it in their beaks. Señor Rattlesnake grabs on with his fangs and they lift into the air. And Señor Rattlesnake, oh, wow, it's even better than he thought it would be. He's hanging on to the limb, and his whole body is just feeling the wind. And it feels so good. And he can now see his whole kingdom, the whole desert. Oh, wow. Well, right about then, the eagle comes flying by. And eagle and rattlesnake are not old friends at all. And here's eagle. Señor Rattlesnake, what are you doing? You're flying. Oh, those are funny looking feathers coming out of your wing, off your tail. You look so funny up here. Who do you think you are, flying like this? Well, Señor Rattlesnake is doing a very good job of ignoring the eagle, because he knows if he opens his mouth to retort, and he really, really wants to, he will fall. And so it goes. Ha, 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 you are a fool. He doesn't stop biting. But then here comes Dove, and Dove settles down on that stick. Ah, Señor Rattlesnake, do not listen to Eagle. He is taunting you, hoping that you will open your mouth and fall. Don't let him get to you. Señor Rattlesnake is looking over at Dove, and Dove, he sure does like Dove meat. And before he can stop himself, he opens his mouth to strike, and he begins to fall, and he falls, and he falls, and he falls, until he lands on a big cactus full of spines. It is many days before Señor Rattlesnake can think about anything but pulling those spines out of his body. And by the time he gets them all out, he is over his thought that flying would be fun. And there it is, the story of Señor Rattlesnake. Now, if you were to look at this, let's see if I can find it real quick. Probably not, but I am persistent. Here is the picture of them, much better than my drawings, don't you think? But these are good enough. So just keep that in mind. And here, check out my cactus. I'm very proud of it. At least this one. Very nicely rendered for me. I know what it is, even without the word cactus underneath, because I drew it, and I just drew it, so I remember. Give me like 8 weeks, and I might be, what on earth is this? But that is beside the point. I wanted you to see that you do not need to be an artist. But if you are, have fun. And if you are, think about coming to Samantha's comic drawing class tomorrow, every Wednesday at 1. You can find her, same channel. I think that's it for today. I will go and see about finding you some more stories of this story, some more versions of this story. This is another one of those folk tales that, even though this one came from Mexico, you can find versions of it all over the world. I was actually looking for the one about the turtle who flew, because it's one of those pourquoi tales. For any of you who know your French, pourquoi means why. And so they're how and why stories. How did the turtle shell go from being smooth to having what looked like cracks on it? Very cool patterns. So think about it. Think about it and see if you can pull that story up yourself. You can go looking for it, or you can just make up your own. And I bet you'll get real close if you follow much the same pattern that we had here. So those are my activity suggestions for you for the coming week. And sort of another way to think about fairy tales, folk tales, and how the patterns are similar throughout. So again, tomorrow you can come and learn about drawing. Thursday it is, there's activity in the activity room. That's why it's called activity room. So Thursday you can come and you can learn from Kaisha how to make stuff with things that you have around your house, hopefully. And because we realize that some things you might not have around your house, or there might be some really fun things to do that you wouldn't have around your house, we are putting together activity kits. And let me just show you if I can do it. See those boxes over there on the floor?